All right, I think now's a good time to fully get started. It's been a while since I last streamed, so I may be a little rusty, but it's good to be back on twitch.tv/Cuspy. That's my channel. I'm Cuspy, and some new additions. Well, semi new additions. I added my logo in the corner, as you can see right here. That was done as a commission from Mika Logo, who's in the intro to my YouTube channel. You should really commission them. They are amazing. They are absolutely fantastic. And today, just to get myself back into the swing of things, I'm gonna be playing a game that I recently got into, mostly because I've recently gotten very into the X-Men while I was away. So today we're gonna be playing X-Men: Children of the Atom, and I've been really hyped on X-Men lately. I really liked Marvel growing up, and with X-Men '97, I've just dived headfirst into X-Men. So I think today's a good day to just stream some X-Men and play the game, and we're gonna fight against Magneto and his cronies. And so the playable characters we can pick, we have at least 10 playable characters. Well, 10 normal playable characters available to us. We have the main leader, Cyclops. We have Wolverine. We have Psylocke, Colossus, Iceman, and Storm. Then for our enemies, we have Omega Red. We have Silver Samurai, Spiral. I I did not pick that. Oh, it was the timer. I kind of want to reset that because I'm not very good at I'm not actually very good at Spiral. So I was just going over it, but what we are going to do is I'm going to pick Cyclops cuz Cyclops is my favorite. I'm going to go automatic because I am not as good at fighting games as I'd like to believe. Let's begin. I always like to do the first shot. Bop, 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 bop. Let's get out of it. Let's get him out of the corner. Okay, that was not a good strike. Alright. Ooh, that was such a cool move. I really like X-Men games. Whoa! That's a special move Silver Samurai's got there. Usually Silver Samurai is a bit more of a Wolverine exclusive villain. Like, he's typically Wolverine's like main foe aside from Sabretooth. But you know, he works within the overall X-Men context because Wolverine's a good X-Men. Obviously everyone's favorite attack, the Optic Blast. Something interesting is like I've really got into this game mostly because X-Men '97 sort of got me back into the world of the X-Men, because before I really experienced the world of X-Men proper, my biggest experience with the X-Men was in movies like, say, Deadpool, or a lot of the alternate universe Fox movies. Like, my first experience with X-Men as a movie franchise was in X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is not a great beginning, evidently. And I wasn't enjoying X-Men Origins Wolverine. I was watching it with my dad, so that was pretty fun. But the movie itself was not great, personally. And then we watched X-Men Apocalypse together, which I also didn't really vibe with. But in the end, that led to Deadpool, which really got me interested in the world of X, because Deadpool's always kind of been X-Men adjacent, because like he originally started as a New Mutants or X-Force villain. Colossus is very challenging, because what I really like about the characters in Children of the Atom is that all of them are like very different, and they all have very different aspects to each other. Like Colossus is very hard to do like damage to, and most of the damage you'll do to Colossus comes off as chip damage. Because he's a man of steel. He's always gonna be that man of steel who's always gonna be super strong. You can't push him around. Like look at that. Look at him sparkling up a storm right here. And oh god, he's gonna throw me. Somebody once told me the world was gonna... Oh, jeez. I kind of forgot that this level could do that. A lot of how I play fighting games mostly just comes down to pressing buttons, because I cannot learn to do, like, fighters' movesets like that in a while. I'm not big competitively into fighting games, but I definitely do enjoy playing them if they're from a franchise I, like, really care about. And, like, in terms of, like, stuff overall, like, I'm one of the people who got Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the Capcom characters, because I want to say I was 12 or 13 at the time, but, oh, I won, sweet. But I got into it because I wanted to play more video games with Amaterasu in it, because one of my favorite games that Capcom has made is called Okami. I was playing it on the Wii, but it had later releases on like PS4 and Switch, and it originally was on the PS2. But I wanted to play as Amaterasu some more, and I wanted to see all the references, because what's really good about fighters like that are crossovers is that they have a lot of references to the original source material. And while I'm getting my butt kicked by Omega Red here, I'm just kind of going over my history. And like I also heard Phoenix Wright was in the game, and I was like, whoa, that was cool. And then I lost my initial like disc copy that I had on my Xbox 360 at the time. Oh Jesus! Come on, man, tripping. What am I playing? Smash Bros. Brawl? But in the end, I was really into Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the Capcom characters. Like, I had no idea who characters like Storm or Wolverine were. That wasn't who I was there for. I was mostly there for all the Capcom characters. Like, I know, you know, Ryu from Streets. Mega Man Zero, or it was just Zero. But either way, it was a good time. And then I ended up getting the digital version of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on my Xbox One. So I was able to get that proper. And so thankfully I was able to get that experience back, so it's not totally lost. Omega Red is kicking my hind. Ah! A lot of my content's just gonna be me making noises. Yeah. I love the big X that happens when you do like your big hyper attack. I always think that's so cool, because like it's like the apex of your X gene powers. I always think that's so cool. Yeah. There we go. That's the end of that guy. That's the end of that guy. Given your rep, I expected more of a fight. That always feels like the voice Cyclops would use. Kind of very, very like macho, but kind of like scrawny in that nature. Like trying to give off the impression that nothing's wrong. But of course, if you know anything about Cyclops as a character, everything is wrong. Because, oh man, Cyclops. I feel you, buddy. And Storm is one of the coolest X-Men characters. I love Storm. Probably, like, if it was, like, Cyclops and Storm are some of my favorites. They're, like, really strong, leaders of the X-Men, especially in like the 80s and the 90s eras, which is like the stuff everybody really knows, like the Claremont stuff. Like I could honestly spend an entire stream just talking about X-Men eras and just how much, like, how many hot takes I have about X-Men stuff. So if anyone's got any X-Men related questions, they can ask it whatever they so choose. Cause I got that stuff on lock. Like I need to read some more of it because I've been mostly keeping up with the modern stuff, but the stuff I really started dipping into was like the 2013 stuff, like right after Avengers versus X-Men, which I'm gonna be honest, that's such a terrible comic arc. I hated Avengers versus X-Men. That was so bad. Like even though, like, I personally feel like even though Scott and Emma were definitely in the right, it's like the editorial mandate was like, oh no, they're wrong actually. So let's force a situation to make them into villains, which I always thought was kind of cringe. That was a good fight. And I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. Oh, Half Lost Soul. Thank you for the follow. Also, I did the animation for this because I wanted to add something new to sort of spice up the streams, so I wanted to make it a little more me. But Half Lost Soul, thank you for the follow. Thanks for joining the crew. And we're just playing some X-Men, and like I remember, like, because by the time I started actually reading Marvel Comics, it was like 2016, because that was when Civil War II started coming out. And that was the time where, like, Marvel editorial really just wanted you to either A, hate the X-Men, or ignore the X-Men, and because Fox owned the movie rights to it, so Disney and Marvel weren't exactly making much money in that category, or to or to just hate Cyclops, because a lot of the parts in the books at the time were actively calling Scott like the mutant Hitler at the time, which is just, I think that's a really funny thing, because that's usually what, like, a lot of us tend to joke about with a lot of things, but to see it, like, actively in, like, a comic that is official and like, promoted by the material is just kind of interesting, to say the least. Also, Psylocke. We're fighting Psylocke right now. Psylocke is different. Psylocke is one of the most interesting characters, mostly because, her backstory is just really different. Her name is Betsy Braddock, and like here she's like a psychic ninja assassin telepath. Did you know this is not her initial body, because Betsy, for those of you who don't know, Betsy Braddock is an English woman. She's from England. But and despite how she looks here, she has no Asian culture in her at all. She is not Asian in any way, shape, or form. There was a mind swipe between her and an assassin named Kanon, and that's why Psylocke looks the way she does. It's weird. I don't really understand why they decided to do it like that, and the thing is, like, because of honestly just the 90s and how big the X-Men cartoon was, Psylocke is just kind of always gonna be in that weird era where she Jesus, Cyclops, come on. It's just always gonna be in that weird era where it's always gonna be a bit weird, because even though she's all of her, like, main gameplay appearances and, like, visual styles all relate to sort of, like, stuff related to Eastern situations and, like, cultures and countries, she's very much an English lady. Like, they try to sort of rearrange that in like the current comics, like Excalibur, she's back in her original body. She's got the light purple hair now, and in this case, she's leading Excalibur, which was like the X-Men that operated out of Europe, because I mean it's led by Captain Britain, who's essentially, you know, Britain's Captain America. And for a bit in the comics, Betsy Braddock actually becomes Captain Britain. I'm pretty sure she still is. I have no idea how this sounds. This probably just sounds really strange to those who are not reading the comics right now. And of course, here's Cyclops versus Wolverine, one of the classic X-Men rivalries. And ever since Wolverine came into the picture, has always been Jean and Cyclops and Wolverine love triangle, which I'm gonna be so for real. I gotta be so for real. I hate that love triangle. I hate that love triangle so much. And like, cause initially the way it started, Jean did not show any interest in Wolverine, like none at all. And I wish it didn't bug me as much as it did, but like, even though for most people the relationship between Jean and Scott is like very boring, that's another one of Cyclops' things, is that he's got that like recoiled hit where his visor's like powers going out of control. But like, I see it like it's the Superman and Lois thing. Oh my gosh, I am getting destroyed. Juggernaut is one of the toughest foes to beat. And like, I am losing. No. Oh no. Objection, Your Majesty, we're losing. Ah. Oh, come on. Oh my god. Jesus. Juggernaut won't stop. Ah. Oh, I'm not getting a chance here. He's got me backed into a corner. Come on, please, Cyclops. Ah! Okay, owie. Because, like, I'm gonna be so for real. When I first played through this game and went through the story mode, because I'm not really on much of a level where I feel like I could properly face anyone online. The way I beat Juggernaut was just by beating the clock. Just by somehow getting him to at least some kind of level while trying to avoid taking more damage. No. Juggernaut. Okay, alright. Optic blast. Come on. He's gonna, no. Cyclops. Okay. Oh, wow. Huh. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect that. I don't lead the X-Men for nothing. I'm gonna be so real, I thought I was gonna lose that. Anyway, the final boss of Children of the Atom is Magneto. For most of the characters, like, I'm pretty sure for everyone who isn't, like, the secret character, the final boss is Magneto, like it is here. Like, it's essentially... The game's based off of the comic book arc Fatal Attractions, which was, like, the big, oh, we're making Magneto a bad guy again comic arc. And so... Because Magneto is, like, the X-Men's main nemesis, but he has not always been the antagonist. Because he's had a lot of moments where he's been a good guy. And, like, if you've seen any of the X-Men movies, like, you'll know that a very common thing with Magneto is that, like, he's kind of wishy-washy with when he's a good guy and when he's a villain. And what's kind of interesting in the comics right now, Magneto is just much more of a good guy. Like, he's actually 100%, like, a protagonist right now. instead of an antagonist. He's actually on Cyclops' team in the current McKay X-Men comic. And I always found that to be a bit more interesting because, like, as we all kind of know from a lot of things, a lot of readers just kind of prefer Magneto as a character and just kind of side with him because, obviously, like, with how times have changed as we've grown up as people, a lot of more people just kind of agreed more with Magneto's perspective. And so they decided, oh, okay, let's make Magneto a more reasonable perspective to sort of, so we can essentially make a good, like, redemption arc out of him. And, like, that a lot of what the X-Men characters are mostly just turning former villains into their best buddies, because that's what Magneto is, that's what Rogue is. There was a short time where Sabretooth was an X-Man. That was weird. Why can't your barrier break? Come on, Magneto. X. I still love the big branded X that pops up when you do your special attack. And I'm gonna just wait this out because I won that round. See, have you ever heard of the War of 1812? That's called the War of Attrition, son. Okay, that is... This AI is a mess. There's a reason he's the final boss in most of the runs, and that's because he's a pain to fight. Jesus, okay. Come on, Eric. Oh my god. Yeah. Jesus, oh my god. I'm getting my butt. I'm getting my chancla handed to me on a yikes. Okay, that stupid barrier. And oh god, yeah. He does not take any quarter. We're gonna have to try this again. I don't want to lose to Magneto. I lost to Magneto. God dang it. Okay, Optic Blast. We're going again. We're going again. We're doing this again. And I'm playing a Cyclops because he's my guy. We're going to do this, and we're going to do it right. Optic Blast. See, I'll take your strategy too. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There we go. There we go. There we go. I love how a lot of what my noises are just me just grunting in a weird manner. X. I love the big X. That's so cool. It, like, you know what happens with the brain juice? It just goes wild in the brain. You go. That's what that is. A lot of how I win at these is just by mashing buttons. People will ask, "Hey, what's your strategy for beating this boss?" And I press buttons and I hit stuff. See, I won there. That's how I do it. I mash buttons and hit stuff. God dang it, Magneto. Magneto's hordes are on the way to pillage, burn, and plunder. But there's one team that will not yield, a team that strikes like thunder. X-Men, this the day, X-Men, coming your way. Alright, dude, if you're gonna be a jerk, come on, Magneto. Come on, Magneto, you're not gonna beat me. You're not gonna beat the X-Man. The ultimate X-Man. Oh, good. Oh my gosh. Look at her. Oh my gosh. X. Come on. Stupid barrier. And, yeah, that's a Magneto win. Yo, Hunter! Thanks for the raid! Welcome in! I'm playing some X-Men. I saw you were playing, Marvel Rivals earlier. How was it? Did you have fun? Because I'm gonna be so real. I want to start playing that game. But I don't know where to start. Because, like, I just downloaded it to my PS5. And I may download it on my computer, but I don't know how well Marvel Rivals is gonna handle whiskey. Because, see, I use a Mac. And thankfully Marvel Rivals is free to play. And with whiskey, I am able to play it on my computer. So I'm hoping that in the end, I may be able to play it. Because I don't think I have online on my, PS. Oh, what? Oh my god, I did it! I didn't even notice that I did it! Sick! Oh, yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But yeah, you're still fight for exit. Join me, Scott. Together we shall... The dream hasn't failed. Humans and mutants will find a way to exist peacefully. You're just like that fool Xavier. Be gone. But yeah, see the... Hello, Wolf the Glitcher. Welcome in. And so I just finished up Cyclops' run of X-Men Children of the Atom. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to play as some other X-Men characters to just sort of get a feel for all of them. But I really like how we were able to see a lot of X-Men characters here. And this is like most people's first introduction to the Acolytes, who were like Magneto's sycophantic followers in the 90s era. I always thought they were a really cool bunch. They're some of my favorite, not some of my favorite guys, but I really like Exodus in the Krakoa era, and there's Scott and Jean! Yay! Jean. I really love Scott and Jean. I'm glad you're safe. I was worried. Jeez, won't you two knock it off? Classic Iceman. We have an emergency. Omega Red has been spotted. Engaging police units nearby. Okay, let's go. Yeah! We're the X-Men. And what's really cool... Yo, Reaper Ren! Welcome in! Welcome in. Anyway, the game ended. We just finished up Cyclops' playthrough of Children of the Atom, so now we're gonna move on. In fact, hang on a second. I didn't want the timer to tick down in the game, so I want your guys' suggestions. Who should I play as next? Should I play as Wolverine, Psylocke, Colossus, Iceman? Heck, we could even play as the Sentinel if we really wanted to. In fact, we're gonna screenshot that and pull it on the screen. It'll be like a who you gonna root for. Have you ever seen Total Drama World Tour? It's like that. It's like in Total Drama World Tour. You know, who you gonna root for? Who's it gonna be? Is it Psylocke, Wolverine, or will you pick Cody? Cody. Oh man, good old classic Cody. And everyone's favorite X-Men, Cody from Total Drama Island. Let's cuz Wolverine is cool. I unfortunately have a big Wolverine bias, like mostly because I'm a big fan of Scott and Jean together, so I always found Logan as part of the love triangle to be a pain. But we're gonna go as Wolverine because Wolverine is honestly a really cool X-Man. He's very cool, and there's like, even though I don't like how they essentially make Wolverine the main character of the Fox movies, there is a reason they did that. It's because he's cool. He's just real cool, and like that's why he's essentially like the main protagonist of the books in the '90s. I want to say, like aside like there's not as much because in the Claremont era, Storm was more of the main character. But, like, they essentially kind of made Wolverine the focal character for a bit, aside from, like, Jubilee in the 90s. And look at that! Jeez, Wolverine does not mess around. He really is the best at what he does. And I'm very glad that we have control of how the story ends here, because X-Men Children of the Atom is actually based on the 90s story arc Fatal Attractions. And in Fatal Attractions, Magneto takes the adamantium skin from Wolverine, and he's in critical condition. So thankfully that's not going to happen this time. So we have control of that. We're saving Wolverine from his, not demise, because Wolverine can't die. Wolverine wins. Yeah. You gotta fight harder than that, rookie. Yeah, I totally agree. That's one of the things I actually really liked about the Krakoa era in like the modern comics. Before it ended, they essentially the way Krakoa works is that they revived all of the mutants that had died previously, and they also essentially made it so there are like canon relationships and stuff, but there are the main law of Krakoa, the first law of Krakoa, aside from kill no man, was also to make more mutants. And by make more mutants, I mean make more mutants. So they were essentially basically able to sort of write out the love triangle in it not being a love triangle anymore, because if you've read the X-Men comics, Logan's very, very thirsty for everyone, and I mean everyone. So like there's no major beef between Scott and Logan in the comics much anymore. Like especially when it comes to Jean, because like Jean has two hands, she can share. Jesus, I am not even trying with Wolverine. He's just that good. He's broken. I'm just mashing buttons and stuff happens. Thanks, bub. I needed the workout. Another very common pairing is Wolverine with Storm, which I get. I just don't see it. Like, personally, I just kind of wished that Wolverine was able to at least let his wife Mariko live in the comics. So like I wish she didn't die, because I really Gina's two hands is definitely a phrase. It is, but I mean she does have two hands, and I mean with her psychic abilities she can conjure up more. She can totally conjure up more if she wants. But she's the Phoenix. She can do whatever. They're like one of the strongest telepaths. But yeah, Wolverine is just broken, because like I'm not trying. Wolverine is literally just a mash buttons, it'll work character, and I respect that. It's the little brother character if you really want little bro to win. Like I should not have gotten a perfect there. I did not deserve it. I did not earn that. That's the best you could do. Top hand assassin. Alright, now we're going against Iceman. Ice on the beach. This is one of the funniest levels. I always thought this area was cute. It's like Iceman's just a guy. Like, because out of the original X-Men, even though he was the second member to join, he's very much he's the quote-unquote baby of the group. Like, he's the youngest, he's got the most attitude of the original five, because the original five was Cyclops, Jean, Beast, Angel, and Iceman. Iceman was always like he's kind of the guy who's like the funny guy, who's like very much like Spider-Man. That's why in the like late 60s, they paired him together with Spider-Man and new character Firestar in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Wolverine Nane's explaining why their favorite character isn't OP. Not. I mean, I don't know what the meta is for X-Men Children of the Atom, but unless, like, I'm pretty sure the top tier characters are like Wolverine and like Juggernaut. Actually, I don't know about that. I could like probably look after stream ends. And geez, Iceman does not play around. And like for a lot of the time in the comics, no one took Iceman seriously. But like they really gave him a sort of effective power boost, because in Krakoa, once we reach the Krakoan era, he's an Omega level mutant, like Jean Grey, Storm, Charles Xavier. It's pretty wild. Wait, Fred, is that you? That's funny. Alright, our next opponent is the Silver Samurai, the main boss of the Wolverine movie. The first good Wolverine movie. I guess the first decent one. Like, because there are 3 solo Wolverine movies, and I'm gonna be so real. Only like, I really only truly vibed with Logan at the end, which I thought that one's just a really good movie in general. I love Logan. Like, it's very much not a comic book movie, but it doesn't like hate comics, especially because it's supposed to represent a different era of the comics. It's not supposed to be the big like, oh, we're all wearing costumes era. It's a post-apocalyptic world. Wolverine Origins, I have a bit of a soft spot for that too. I may not enjoy the movie, but like I went to go see that movie with my dad in theaters, and it was like in a specific theater in Georgia, because that was during the housing crisis, so I was living in Georgia at the time. But like that's when it like really got started, and then things were never gonna stay the same, because I was probably gonna get back into X-Men some way or another. But I gotta be honest, one of my favorite interpretations of the Wolverine character is actually his appearance in the 2000s era cartoon X-Men Evolution, where like a lot of the X-Men and X-Men Evolutions are like teenagers. And like there's the Xavier school where they live and like train their mutant powers. And then they go to a high school that's in the same neighborhood. And so like thankfully there's that. But essentially Wolverine and Storm are some of the teachers at the Xavier Institute. So essentially they help with teaching the students like Cyclops, Jean, and eventually Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat. There's Rogue, and then one of the first new characters introduced is actually Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler's a really interesting character there, because they give him the opportunity to be a kid, which like is not what Kurt was for most of the comics. Because like realistically in the comics before Kitty Pryde was introduced, Colossus was actually the kid of the book, which is funny considering, you know, Colossus. But also, hey, there's Charles Xavier looking in the corner. By the way, you can hear this from me. Charles Xavier was wrong. Magneto was right. Sorry, bub. X. I love the X. The X is just, ooh. The X just gets me. When I see the X, it's so cool. Anyway, we won that one. That was pretty sick. You gotta fight harder than that, rookie. Leader. Anyways, our second to last boss for most of the X-Men is Juggernaut. We always end with Juggernaut and Magneto. And he hits real hard. Yeah. I also think the idea of the portrait spinning in the corner right here. Like, unfortunately, I don't think you can see it all too well because my logo is covering Wolverine's. Yo, I got Berserker Rage? Let's go. Berserker? Berserker? Let's go. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That was pretty cool. But, like, you can sort of see the profile panel spin right there. I always thought that was a cool look. Yeah. And, like, so, where was I at again? Alright, I was talking about why I really liked X-Men Evolution Wolverine. Because, like, he's very, like, Wolverine as a character has always just been very much dad-coded. Like, he's just always kind of the guy who's, like, he's the cool dad or the cool uncle. He's like, hey, kid, you want a beer? It's like, Logan, she's 12. It's like, what? So she can't have a dad a brewski? But Wolverine always kind of had that, like, cool factor to him. But, like, he's also a dad. And that comes out so clearly in X-Men Evolutions because he's just the entire mansion's dad. There's one moment where they're having like dinner at the mansion, and Kurt teleports to get some sausages, and he's like, "Elf, how many times do I gotta tell you? Ask and it'll get passed to you." And it's so funny to me, and I just think it's really cute because I like Wolverine as dad. I like Dad Wolverine or Uncle Logan, as he calls himself in the new Uncanny X-Men comics, where he's on Rogue's team. Jesus, I am getting my butt kicked. If I can get some Berserker Rage coming in soon, that would be great, buddy. I would love some Berserker Rage right now. You had a really... There we go. Was that it? Was that it? I have no idea if that was it. I didn't see it. I didn't... Yeah. Yeah, for those who are just now joining us, a lot of what this stream has been has just been me making noises. And just kind of grunting, because I'm not really good at fighting games. And, like, you'll never see me read, like, a move set list, because that's just not part of how I do things. See, the easiest way to explain it is I grew up with Smash Bros. That's the best way to explain it. Because I was just like, what do you mean? Why do I need to learn, why do I need to do a quarter, what is a quarter circle? And like, that's why simple modes in games like Dragon Ball Fighters and where the button combinations are much simpler, those are like my kryptonite to letting me like actually get into the game. So like once I have that, I'm like in it to win it. The X. I love the X. I'm totally getting destroyed here. Ow. Well, yeah, come on, Wolverine! I wonder if because like there are like little extras to each character to like make them like appear different on some levels. So like, who knows? Maybe the way things, because like maybe it's like Pokemon thing. Magneto is just kind of really good against Wolverine. Okay, can you get out of there? Why was he in the air for so long? Get him in the corner. Get him in the corner. Every arcade fighter strategy. Get him in the corner. Get him in the corner. Okay, come on. Please. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so now now I just gotta survive. I don't need to destroy him, because now he's at low health. I just need to survive for 10 seconds. Or I can just finish him off. And that's Wolverine's playthrough of Children of the Atom. When I say Wolverine is very easy to play as, Wolverine is very easy to play as. It's over, bub. You can either come with us, or I'll drag it. It's your choice. You can still join me, Wolverine. Help me protect mutant kind. Save the speeches, Maggie. You're through. Then leave now. Avalon will not last much longer. Gah! Wolverine, what happened? I apologize for my bad Russian accent. It's over. Let's get out of here. And Avalon explodes again. Stubborn to the end. What was that? Nothing. It was nothing. Anyway, it's just like the Cyclops ending. But obviously Wolverine take care of her, Summers. I don't I need a vacation. It never fails. I'm one of you jokers. You have interfered with me too often, Wolverine. I will no longer tolerate it. It's time to fight. Thanks for the exercise. I wish I could feel bad for Logan. I really wish I could. I just one day, I swear, I'm gonna make a promise here on Twitch.tv, and I especially want my dad to hear this because my dad loves Wolverine. One of these days, I will love Wolverine. I honestly will. I don't know when it'll happen, but I would love for it to happen soon. Because he's a really cool character. I'm just so sick of the love triangle, guys. I'm so sick of it. Also, why am I actually watching the end credits? It didn't make me watch the end credits as... Was it because This is my first time beating the game as Wolverine. I just realized that. No wonder it's making me watch through the credits. It's because I've never beaten this game as Wolverine before. One of these days, chat, I'll work through my Wolverine bias. I want you to hold me to that, if you don't mind. Anyway, next character. We beat it as Cyclops. We beat it as Wolverine. Let's see, who else are we gonna play as? Let's play as Iceman. Iceman doesn't get as much love as he should. Yeah. Whoa. Iceman. Oh no. Ice Optic Blast. I always love that cool I call upon the power of ice. We need ice sword power now. Iceman would love Power Rangers if it was a thing when he was a kid. Because Iceman was created in the 60s. That was before, like, Zords were a thing. And who is adding me? Another streamer, pal of mine, is streaming. That's real great. I love my friends streaming. And, like, honestly, I hope that people who follow me on stream follow all of my friends that are streaming as well, because they're all super cool and talented, and they all deserve followers. So you should also follow them. Like, in fact, one of the people you should follow rated me today. The Golden Guard. You should absolutely be following him. He's awesome. Very great. So just, all I'm saying, if you're following me, you should follow him. And there we go. And spell it out. Spell out Iceman. And just chill on my block. How about putting up a fight next time, huh? Something interesting that a lot of people don't know. Well, I don't know who doesn't know it, and I don't know how that works, but in the 2009 cartoon Wolverine and the X-Men, Iceman is voiced by either the voice actor for Yosuke Hanamura from Persona 4 or by the voice actor for Ben 10 in like Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, and Omniverse. I also have beef with Wolverine and the X-Men, the cartoon, which I swear I'll work on it. I'll work on it. Let's see. Look at that. We just took down Ice. We just took down Omega Red. Told you Iceman was Omega level. Like, see, look at that. It does so much damage. Wouldn't it be wild if, like, we got, like, a Mega Man clone with, like, X-Men as a Mega Man clone, but, like, you're playing as Mystique, so it's like, once you can transform into them once you beat them. And the final boss is Rogue and Nightcrawler, who are Mystique's kids. See, look at my buddy. He's just like me. Let's see how you like being on ice for a while. Yeah, he likes to make a lot of ice puns. Here we go. It's time to battle my leader. And of course, there's Charles Xavier looking in the danger room. Optic blast. Let's get out of this corner. I gotta say, I really like the filters in this game, because I really love this collection. This is such a good collection. I love the fact that we were actually able to get stuff like X-Men, Children of the Atom, all of the Marvel vs. Capcom games pre-3. And I gotta say, if you're in the mood to make more Marvel-related collections, might I suggest the X-Men arcade game? Please? X-Men arcade game? That'd be really cool. Especially since, I mean, X-Men's in vogue now with X-Men 97 and Deadpool vs. Wolverine. Or Deadpool and Wolverine. But, like, they're in vogue. Come on. Come on, Disney. That's money. Also, Iceman's canonically gay. So, big ups to our guy. And, like, even a lot of people think that it was a recent thing that Iceman is gay. And, like, I think it's a recent thing that it's been made as clear as it was. Because, like, a lot of how comics in the 90s went very much coded Iceman as, you know, coded as gay. Like, for one, there's an arc where he takes one of the X-Men to sort of play as his girlfriend with his parents, who are bigots, and the only X-Men he actually takes to visit his parents is Rogue, the one mutant the one mutant who no one can physically touch, and she is not worried about a thing. She is just chilling in the summer sun because she has it on lock, because her moms are Mystique and Destiny. She knows what Bobby's putting down. She knows it before he knows it. For a very old school and probably outdated, not great way to phrase it, Rogue's got the gaydar. Just like Rogue can see it and just know. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is exactly where the Family Guy joke comes from. It's because Iceman is gay. How about putting up a fight next time, huh? Anyway, we're going against Wolverine in the Savage Land. I gotta say, one time I was playing Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I wore out the thumbstick of my Xbone controller, and I was just like I gotta replace that. It's gonna look weird and off because it doesn't look the same. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. I don't like sticking with just hard plastic on my analog sticks. Like you get it. But yeah, Iceman is really cool. I wish I either didn't notice that I made that lame pun or that I didn't say it, because it's such an obvious one that it slips out and you don't intend for it to. Anyway. Summon more ice ball. Yeah? Oh, sorry. Anyway. Back to fighting Wolverine. And there we go. We took him down. We took down the Wolverine. Oh wait, that was only round 1. Yeah, there we go. The avalanche ball. Oh, there we go. That wasn't so hard. Iceman's pretty fun to play as. Like, with the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, I'm starting to sort of understand fighting games a little bit more. And by a little bit more, I really do mean a little bit more. Because I am no aficionado. I just really like X-Men. These two terraformed Mars together. This is a battle of two Omegas. Like, there was a time in the comics where Iceman, Beast, and Angel joined a couple of other superhero teams that almost immediately went defunct when it was time for them to join X Factor. And what's really wild about that in the comics, getting back to the whole Iceman is gay thing, is that in one of the last comics in the Bendis era from 2013 to 2015, during the Bendis era, essentially there's a moment where don't question it, but both the present Iceman at the time as well as the Iceman from the 60s are in the same plane of existence. If you want to know why, Hank McCoy is a terrible person. Anyway, essentially, the young Iceman confronts the present Iceman of being like, hey, why are you still in the closet? And it's just like, kid, you're gonna be a mutant and gay? Yeah, comics are strange. Comics are a mess. Comics are one of my favorite mess. Just like Glee. Like, Glee is super messy. Why am I having the easiest time with Juggernaut as Iceman? No one should underestimate Iceman ever again. Also, speaking of Juggernaut, what's something really interesting about Juggernaut in the comics is that, like Magneto, he is also not a villain anymore. One of the few good things about Chuck Austin's X-Men run right after New X-Men was Juggernaut giving up his life of crime. Like, he actually genuinely just becomes a good guy. He becomes an X-Man. And the crazy thing is, Juggernaut's not a mutant. He's an X-Man because he's just that good of an ally. And, like, there's a point in, like, the modern comics where he's like, yeah, I wear the X, and you know what it is? It's a target. So you gotta look me in the eye while you're about to do your evil crap, and watch what I'm gonna do to you for it. And it's Juggernaut's so cool in the comics, guys. I love Juggernaut. Kane Marco has grown ridiculously over the years. Like, I can't get over how much I really like Juggernaut. He's a really good character, guys. A little too cold for you, huh? I don't know why I'm constantly phrasing Iceman like he's Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, yeah! Talk about a little bunch of flights, no food or movies, I'm out of here. I like Ice Slide better. Anyway, it's time to fight Magneto again. Run back one more time. Another battle of Omegas. But yeah, comics are weird. A lot of stuff happens in them, and I wish they were like manga, because like mostly in just the case that things are much more contained in manga. Like, I feel like in one specific book series, it should be one specific storyline. That's why, like, when it comes to reading comics, I vastly prefer reading trades compared to reading issue to issue. I don't like reading issue to issue. That stuff always confuses me. I'm much more prefer reading those trades, which also gets confusing because the way trade comics, like trade paperbacks, are marked as volumes is also quite different from how the normal issue to issues are read as volumes, because you know they're different things. They're not the same volume set. Like, they're one of the big trades included in the Krakoan Age is X-Men by John Hickman, and that's separated into 3 volumes. However, all of that is X-Men Volume 5 in terms of single issues. And oh my god, Magneto! Magneto's hordes are on the way to pillage, burn, and plunder! That is true. That is true. Because, like, a lot of the times, that is true. Because, like, a lot of comic stories tend to have, like, shorter arcs, like, the last 2 arcs in Uncanny Volume 5 are about Cyclops and Wolverine essentially doing one last hurrah for the X-Men. Because, like, in Uncanny Volume 5, the X-Men are... True! Like, I'm gonna be so real, when I found out that Destiny of X wasn't going to release their trades in English, I was so upset. Because, like, I just vastly prefer reading X-Men comics as trades. Or just comics in general as trades. Because one of my favorite trades is actually the beginning of Jane Foster's Thor. I love Jane Foster Thor, and I hate forever that the movie pretty much messed up her only chance as Thor. Because I don't think they're gonna be bringing back Natalie Portman. Like, she's too big of an actress, right? I don't know if they're gonna be bringing her back for Thor, a character that, like, even though Thor's really cool, they don't really like using Thor in the movies much. Because, like, a lot of us thought that, hey, at the end of Endgame, Thor's gonna be with the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was kind of a throwaway bit in the beginning of the movie. Because Thor was not really with the Guardians much. Come on, Magneto, put down that shield. I know you want to put down your shield. Come on, buddy. Come on, Eric, please. Can you do it for a scuba schnock? X. I love the X, even when it means I'm gonna lose. I won that round. I didn't expect to win that round. Anyway, back at it. X. I love the X finisher. I love it. It's so cool. I think we need more of that. I think if I had control of Bakugan, I would make more like Marvel themed Bakugan, and like I'd make the ability cards like stuff from the like video games, because those are the attacks that actually have names. And then like if I was using like say a Wolverine and a Colossus, you could activate a fastball special, which is like one of the like big X-Men finisher attacks, because it's where Colossus throws Wolverine. I have not read a lot of Spider-Man 2099. I always think that Miguel O'Hara is actually a really cool character, but I gotta be honest, like, I didn't like how they kind of made him into an antagonist. Like, he's a good antagonist in Across the Spider-Verse, but that made me just really not vibe with him as a character. I should read some of the comics. I refuse to read any more Amazing Spider-Man, though, because I heard what they were doing to Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson, and I hate it. Like, that up there with Cyclops and Jean, Spider-Man and Mary Jane are another couple that I think should always be together. Like, the Superman and Lois. That just always. He's right there. What are you talking about? What do you mean, where's Wolverine? Let's go, people. Here we go. But I will say, if you want to read a really good story of Spider-Man and Mary Jane together, read Ultimate Spider-Man 2024. Please? It's so good. Yeah, I can totally see that. He kind of does come off as cynical. Can't you be serious for even a moment, Robert? Remember, kids, don't try this at home. That's good, but isn't she a little small? Be careful what you wish for. I love the new Ultimate Run. Oh, it's horrible! It's not horrible. The new Ultimate Run is so good. Like, I like how, even though it's like still very comic booky, it's like got those bits and pieces that I really love from like reading manga over the years. And it's really just gotten me into it. Like, I love Ultimate Black Panther. I love Ultimate. Yo, User One Campbell, thanks for the follow. I love all of the Ultimate Run. I love Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men. That's my favorite. I could talk about Ultimate X-Men for a long time. Peach Momoko, we stan. See, this is a really long ending, and it's mostly just Magneto making ice statues. Anyway, game over. Anyways, let's see. Who should we play as next? I'm gonna play as one of our secret characters. Let's see. Let's play as Magneto. I want to play as Magneto. We're going in the deep. We're gonna play as Magneto. Funny thing about Magneto is that because he's a secret character, he doesn't really have a final boss. It's just after 8 fights, the game just kind of stops, and the credits start to roll. Omega Red. But yeah, if you gotta read any Spider-Man story, make it Ultimate X-Men or Ultimate Spider-Man. You know what I mean. I really love X-Men, guys. I really love the X-Men. And like, it's very different, but the stories feel really good for the stories they're trying to tell. And I really like the overall thematic plot of the Ultimate Universe, where it's basically like the way things are supposed to be has been taken from you. do you want it back? And it's like it's got a very good sort of rebellion like storyline involved with all of the issues, and it's just like trying to do good in the world again. It's or just trying to live in the case of Ultimate X-Men. I really love the new Ultimate Universe. It's so good. That'd be pretty funny for the final boss. An X-Men character should show up and then one-shot Magneto. Yeah, I think that'd be really funny. Like, imagine just all of a sudden, Jean Grey just walks in the corner and just goes like, and boom, Magneto's done. Make it like they turn him into a baby again. Because that does actually happen in the comics. He's turned into a baby for a bit. And see, this is also really interesting because in the comics, Colossus actually becomes one of Magneto's acolytes for a little bit. Because his faith in Charles Xavier wavers because his sister, Ilyana Rasputin, dies from the legacy virus, which was heavily, like, hinted as being AIDS, because this was the 90s. Anywho, we just beat Colossus. I'm really starting to get the feel for why these like fighter games are really good, because like I used to not really understand it because I was much more of a I grew up as a Smash Bros kid. Like the first actual normal fighting game I ever played was Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Fate of Two Worlds. So like I was like, oh, why can't where's my special attack? Like, where's my final smash? My final smash is the hyper combo. I love Magneto. He's an Omega level mutant. And he's overpowered. X. Always fun playing as Magneto. You try my patience, little mutant, I say to one of the tallest mutants. Anyway, back in the danger room, because we're fighting Cyclops. These two are going to work together in the future, because in the Utopia arc, Magneto actually just was like, you know what? Cyclops, you've succeeded where Charles and I have failed. You've brought together mutant kind. So he actively becomes one of Cyclops' X-Men, and like for a bit, like he's just kind of that sort of anti-hero character. And then in the recent Krakoa storylines, like he starts off kind of anti-heroic, anti-villainous, but then like he just kind of becomes a true he gets a bit of enlightened understanding when it comes to mutant kind and like the whole idea of the differences between people, and like how, because in the comics what he essentially fights for now is for all of the people who are different, whether they be human or mutant or like even synthezoid, because like he's not like a mutant supremacist anymore. Like his entire thing in the comics nowadays is like, I will fight for everyone who has ever been oppressed, and we love him for that. Because like I said, Magneto in the comics is not a villain anymore. He's just not. A pity you have chosen to stand against Magneto. Can always appreciate Magneto. Another battle of Omegas. See, what's really cool is like in X-Men Red, Storm and Magneto lead a brotherhood together. And like this is on Mars because comics. And like in that story, the Brotherhood is actually the main characters of the book, not the X-Men, because the X-Men of Mars were created by Agent Brand, who's kind of a different kind of character. Like she's not very well known. Like she's got green hair, she's part mutant, part alien. And so essentially she's also very much who likes being in control of stuff, which is not good for a like planet of people who are all about might makes right, and like that's just their way of life. And like, so they're basically trying to stop colonialism is what the plot of X-Men Red is in X-Men Red. You should really read X-Men Red. It's got Storm, it's got Magneto, it's got Sunspot. A lot more people know Sunspot now because, you know, X-Men 97. He was the one New Mutant involved, because like there are a lot of New Mutants, like because the New Mutants are essentially like the junior team of X-Men, even though that's not what Charles Xavier wanted for them to be, but they're essentially the junior X-Men. And so one of them is Sunspot, and he's like the one who gets introduced in X-Men 97, while in the comics the like main New Mutant is Magic, who is Colossus's daughter. Not Colossus's daughter, Colossus's little sister. But Magic essentially got the big X-Man promotion. Like she's basically, because in the comics she's basically Cyclops' right-hand man. And Psylocke is kicking my tushy. I don't have meter. Boing. There we go. Nice and easy there. I think the Magneto run's probably gonna be my last run of the night before I call it a day. But I it's good to get back. I missed streaming online. This is really fun. This is what it's all about. Plus, I love how I can just fly. I can literally just wait out the clock right now and just keep this going for as long as possible. A pity you have chosen to stand against Magneto. See, Magneto and Psylocke also have an arc together, and it's wild. I have not read the story that they have an arc together in. I just know it's messy. You gotta love boss characters, because with boss characters you can just mess around. You're never gonna lose. X. Round 2. Fight. Jeez, this guy. Who's this guy? What's with this hedgehog that looked like my twin? I don't think I've ever seen Magneto and Silver Samurai share a room together before this. I don't know if they actually know each other. There we go. Nice and easy. Barely broke a sweat in my old man Magneto age. Now you will understand the true meaning of power. And of course, our second to last final boss is Juggernaut. Our penultimate boss, Juggernaut. It's always got to be Juggernaut. Unless you're playing as Juggernaut. Then it's not Juggernaut. Gotta build up meter. Tech hit. You tech those. X. I love the X finishers. They're so cool. I love them. Ooh, it makes the brain juice go. It just. I hope people get what I mean when I say the brain juice. It's very silly as a way to describe something you feel when you can't really describe how you feel, when you're just kind of in the zone and you're just kind of vibing. Like that's got to make some kind of sense, right? I'm not alone here. right? There we go. Magneto Supreme. Now you will understand the true meaning of power. Now, this actually makes a lot of sense. We're fighting the Sentinel as our final boss for Magneto. This just makes sense because Magneto's whole thing is to fight against people who would try to destroy or kill mutants. So this is a natural final boss for Magneto, actually. This just makes sense. So let's take apart this robot. X. There we go. Nice and easy. That's a good round one. That's a very simple and clean round one. Let's get back into this and finish it off. So Magneto can take over Genosha and make it into a mutant homeworld that nothing bad will ever happen on it. Nothing bad will ever happen on Genosha. Because Magneto's got it all under control. Why'd you zoom in? Yo, I have my barrier out. You're done. You're Dunyan rings. There we go. Nice and easy. Magneto wins. And see, just like I told you, there's no end credit scene for Magneto. It just runs the credits. All right, so I think this is a good place to call it for the night. So let's see who I can raid. Let's see who's on. I'm gonna quick filter it by who I'm following. Let's see. Ooh, we could send you over to... There are a lot of options. We can send you over to... Because a lot of my pals are also streaming right now. We can send you over to Noe. We can send you over to Yuki. Let's see. Let's we're gonna start the raid. Let's go! 9 seconds. So thanks for joining me on the stream. So let's get going. Oh, wait, hang on. Raid now.
Take note of the side characters who are in the background who have little to barely any lines or barely appear in an episode or whatever. It's crazy. Oh, hey!
Did it work?
Cuspy, thank you so much for the raid of a party of 2.
Okay, yes, it did work. I didn't know if it worked or not. I don't know how Twitch works.